Okay, I think I am live. I just sent the link out to everyone to join me. So if you did get that link, please let me know if you can hear me so I can make sure my audio is working well. You will see me looking down. I do have two screens as I usually do, and I'm also trying to put my laptop down a little bit so it is not in this screen, at least while you're looking at me. So I'm going to move this screen over here. So you may see me looking to the side. And then at a certain point, you will see me sharing my screen. So I will be asking you guys if you can hear me, if you can make sure you can see my screen when I'm sharing it. So please let me know so I can make sure you all are getting the information that you need today. So as you are entering the chat today, please indicate your first name, where it looks like most of us are from the Metro Atlanta area. I did take a look at the registrations that I had today and see that most of us are from Atlanta. So welcome, fellow ATLians. And also, if you can just put your first name in the chat and what events do you have coming up that you are thinking about hosting, maybe events that you already have that you want to host. Let me know in the chat. I think it'll be important to help kind of guide the conversation that we're going to have today as we're talking about Eventbrite and how you can use this platform for your events. So again, please go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and type in the comments to welcome you. Welcome. Please let me know if you can hear me. So I want to make sure you all can hear me. Anyways. And I'm also thinking about, will these earrings be a distraction? So I may take these earrings out if there's like clicking or something that folks are hearing. I want to make sure that that isn't interfering with the audio. So I do know that my earrings are kind of clicking against my necklace. So I want to be conscious and aware of that so you guys can hear as best as possible. So still waiting on folks to come in. Looks like we do have 3 people here. Please, again, be interactive, you guys. Introduce yourselves. Tell me your first name and what events you have coming up. So Joshua says he can hear me. Awesome. Thank you, Joshua. So what events, Josh, do you have coming up that you want to learn more how to use Eventbrite to possibly promote those events? We'll talk about just events in general a little bit as well, but we'll definitely be focusing more so on the platform. So let me know first name and what events you guys have coming up. So who else do we hear? So Zach is here. I can hear you crystal clear. Thank you so much, Zach. What events do you have coming up or events that you're thinking about hosting? And these events can be business related events, brand experiences, but they can also be events that you may just be hosting on a personal level. If you're hosting, you know, birthday parties, family reunions, things like that, let me know. We can talk about that as well and how you can utilize Eventbrite for those purposes, because that is an option. Okay, so we have 5 people. You guys have to drink my water because my throat gets so dry when I'm talking to you guys. So I had to bring my water today. So Zach wants to host an online webinar about interacting with developers. Awesome. Okay. Very cool. We can definitely talk about that. And so we have 5 people here. Feel free, jump in the comments if you're able to. I know a lot of people listen on the go. Maybe you're making dinner right now. So I can totally understand if you can't chat, but if you are able to chat, I really do ask you, as we're waiting for a few more folks to come in and join us, give me your first name, tell me what events you have coming up or what events you're thinking about hosting coming up, whether they be digital or in person. And we're gonna make sure we kind of talk about those today during our conversation. So while we're waiting on folks to come in, I do want to talk about what we're going to do today. So I'll first start by introducing myself. I'm Angel Mills. I'm a brand strategist, and I work with small business owners to help them develop their messaging. I do coaching, education, as well as actual services, freelance marketing services. So this workshop kind of goes more into my education piece. And I just on a personal level, just love hosting events. I love hosting things at my home. One of my favorite things in my business is hosting gatherings and just bringing people together. I host a meetup here in Metro Atlanta called Atlanta Business Strategy, where I connect small business owners together. We've brought our meetings virtually, of course, since we're quarantined right now. But before we were meeting monthly in person, and we would basically connect around different sorts of topics and challenges that small business owners experience. So the goal is kind of for us to utilize one another, to build our relationships with one another so that we can help each other elevate personally and professionally. So outside of that, even outside of business, I also host things at my home often. I have gotten pretty busy, so I haven't done this in a while. But when I first moved here to Atlanta, I would host meetings or rather gatherings in my home with other like young Black women that I met and that I knew from school, or just ones that I met around Atlanta, and we would connect and we would talk, usually around some sort of topic. And I would call that event potluck and discussion. And so ladies would come to my home, they would bring something to eat, and we would, share each other's food. And usually we had some sort of discussion topic that we would talk about. So I say all that to say I love hosting people, and I've had a challenging but good time kind of learning how to bring those experiences online. So I want to talk about those as well. But I specifically wanted to put together this Eventbrite class because I talk about Eventbrite. If you've come to any of my previous workshops, I talk about Eventbrite a lot. And I talk about in some previous live chats about how I've used it to grow my email list, but I've also used it to connect with people and to get registrations for my events and things like that. And I think that a lot of people use Eventbrite. If you have a business or you just have events, a lot of people do utilize the platform, but they don't know all the nuances of the platform. And people ask me questions a lot. So I thought that it would be a great opportunity to kind of put together a class where we kind of go through all of those things. So for the folks who are listening, hey, Khadijah. So Joshua also says he has an online screenwriting workshop coming up. So he hosts those on a regular basis. So we'll definitely talk about that. And Khadijah's here. Welcome, Khadijah. And I kind of lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Yeah, with Eventbrite, though, a lot of people don't know the nuances of how to utilize the platform. So I thought it would be a great way to just put a class together and talk about those things and how you can best get the most out of this platform. And I think, so what do we have? We have 6 folks here. If anyone else wants to go ahead and introduce themselves, put your first name, what events you're thinking about hosting, what events you have coming up, let us know, and then I'm going to get started. What I do want to say, I know there'll probably be questions as I'm moving along. Go ahead and put the questions in the chat as we're going through the back end of the platform. And I'll just address them as I go along, because I don't want to move along to another point on the platform on the back end and then someone has a question about a previous thing. So I do want to answer questions kind of as they come in. I have 2 screens up for that purpose. So I have my laptop here. I have another screen so I can kind of keep an eye on what questions may be coming in, as well as showing you guys the screen and kind of going through that. So I'm used to multitasking, y'all. So I do want to thank you all for being here. Fatima is here. Hey, Fatima. She just sent me an email today. So I'm so glad you could make it on with us. And Fatima wants to start hosting classes. So that's very interesting. If you all, I don't know if you watch it's a podcast. If you listen to the podcast, How I Built This with Guy Raz, it's an NPR podcast. He actually recently interviewed the founders of Eventbrite. And it was a great interview. I would definitely encourage you, when you have a chance, after we're done here, of course, go ahead and listen to that interview. But they talk a lot about that platform. And Zach is introduced. Yeah, guys. So Zach is introducing himself. Thanks so much, Zach. So if anybody wants to introduce themselves in the chat, please do. This is a great place to connect and network. So on that podcast, though, with the founder of Eventbrite, she talked a lot about how during the recession in 2008, she saw that the platform went from like hosting parties that's what people were originally using it for, to people using it to host workshops and classes. So that's a big piece of their platform. And they built out a lot of options and things for folks like us who are interested in educating communities around various topics. So we'll talk a lot about that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and please let me know as I'm sharing it if y'all can see my actual screen. If not, we're going to have to work on that. So one moment. So 1 second. Oh, here it is. So share screen. Okay, so can you guys just confirm with me that you are able to see my screen? It's showing up on my end. Should be showing up for you guys. So just give me a thumbs up or a yes, we can see, so I can, before I start getting in everything, I can move forward. Yeah, so you should be seeing the, you should be seeing the front cover page of Eventbrite, and then I have another tab open here that I haven't really gone into. So yes, I can see your screen. Awesome. Thank you, Khadijah. So let's get started. This is what it looks like for me on Eventbrite. Essentially, so it does auto-populate your location. And of course, it has the top events. So a lot of people are probably wondering, how do I get my event on this top page? So Eventbrite works with an algorithm, like so many other social media platforms. It works with an algorithm. So you basically are able to get to this front page by having more traffic to your, a couple of things. So one, having traffic to your Eventbrite page. That's number one. You want to have traffic to it. So these events that we're seeing up at the top, these are events that have a lot of traffic to their page. Also, you see events based on previous, your interests, essentially. So they will cultivate your front page based on, the different types of events that you've expressed interest in the past. And of course, if you are somewhat familiar with the platform, you know that you can search events via a different source of topics. So you can search the business events in your area, you can search the music events in your area, you can search festivals in your area. And then, of course, because of quarantine right now, they are allowing us or encouraging us to use the online events section of the platform that highlights the different online events and things that are coming up. So you see, so for me, I see some of my own events here. And then I also see other things that pop up based on, what's popular right now, essentially. So let's talk about what you do when you create an event. So I was kind of contemplating if I wanted to create a fake event with you guys or just bring you on the back end of one of my events that I created. So I essentially decided to just bring you on the back end of events that I've already created. So this event is, well, first of all, when you create an event, of course, you got to create an event. You go to the plus sign, and that's where you go to create your event. Now, this event, Build Your COVID-19 Financial Plan, is actually an event I'm having Thursday. It'll be a live chat with Atlanta Business Strategy Meetup, and we'll be talking to Johan Masili. He has come to our meetup several times, and he'll be talking about some of the new financial changes around the stimulus plan, unemployment, just all of the things that are kind of happening with finances and things right now so that we can plan in our business and personally. He's a professional accountant and he's a CPA, and he also does taxes and things like that. So he'll be talking to us about those things. So when you first are creating your event on Eventbrite, of course, you're asked to put in your basic info. So you put in your title when you're thinking about your title, and I don't think I linked it in my description, but I will go back and link in my description the information for my ebook. So I do have an ebook talking about how to grow your list through free events. And I do talk about your title. You want your title, of course, to be SEO friendly, but also explain what the event is and who it's for. And we'll talk about that a lot as we're going through how you categorize your event. But you want to say what it is. If it's a digital event, and I do want to speak specifically to digital events, the rules are a little bit different. You want to make sure that your event indicates that it's online in your title. That will help you push higher in search results in the online events section on the site. So, whereas before, when your event is in person, of course, you're able to put the address here. So I put online event, but of course, you can put a venue in the actual place of your event if it's an in-person event. And what's great about that is that you automatically will show up in events that are happening in your city. Whereas it was an online event, it's a little trickier. You don't necessarily show up as easily. So of course, you have your title here. You are limited to 75 words, I believe, or 75 characters. And then, of course, you have your categorization. I think a lot of times we kind of glimpse over this part of it, but this is super important. How you categorize your event. And it doesn't have to be honest. Like this event, I put conference here. It's not a conference, okay? But I thought that that may help to drive my SEO if I put that it was a conference. So, of course, these are some of the different options that you have when you are picking what type of event you have. So they have appearance or signing, attraction, game trip or retreat, class training or workshop, meeting or networking event, seminar or talk, blah, blah, blah. So you can also put the category that it is. I would encourage you not to put other because you're not going to really show up in anything. So I would definitely encourage you to pick a category based upon, and if you're not sure, based upon the event itself, where it will fall into, pick the category based on the audience that you want to come and what category you think they would be interested in. And then, of course, you can pick a subcategory to get even more specific, which they could definitely expand out the subcategories. They're a little limited. Now, the tags. This is actually important, especially for online events. When you are thinking about your tags, what I would encourage you to do is, number one, look at Google keywords. So set up a Google Ads account. You don't actually have to run ads on it. Set it up. An aspect of that is Google keywords. So you're actually able, and maybe I can pull up my account for, let me just type in Google keywords. So I actually pull up my account so y'all can see what I do. Google Keyword Planner. And so what you're able to do is kind of look and see what are some of the keywords around the particular topic that you're looking for. So it's a great way to get ideas. It's a great way to be SEO friendly because Google Eventbrite does have an integration with Google. So you can show up high in search on Eventbrite, but also if people just in general are searching different keywords around this particular topic or events around this particular topic, you can show up to them that way, which is major. So you want to be looking at what are some of the different keywords around your topic. So you might type in hair, I don't know, black hair. And then you can see here what are some of the, they offer some options. You can see kind of what's commonly used. So something is high competition, then you know it's a commonly Googled phrase or topic. You can also get some ideas here to broaden your search. So these are different things that you can look at. You can also look at Google Trends, which I don't believe need a Google account to look at that, and type in different words to kind of play around with your tags. You only can do 10 tags anyway. So it's not going to take that long for you to just get to those 10 tags. You may also look at similar events. What I've done before is I'll go on the front page of what events are doing well, and you can see some of their tags as well. So you might be able to, if it's a similar event, you can kind of get a feel for what they may be doing that is going well that you can possibly adopt as far as tags. So let's see. So for Essence, we can see Some of their major tags are online events, online seminars, online health seminars. So those are also tags you might want to consider. So as you can see here, I put online workshop. So you might want to put some tags, online class. Those are things that can help drive you up in SEO. And then of course you have your, I would definitely encourage you, fill out everything on Eventbrite. Fill out your organizer profile. So we can view my organizer profile here. So when you come to my organizer profile, this is actually the back end of it, but you can, oh, here's the URL. So you can see, my business, what I'm about, my social media handles, and people can see my upcoming events as well. And it's also linked to my Instagram, so people can see some of my Instagram posts. Fill this out. People look at this kind of stuff. People will contact you. So you can be found on this platform. So you want to kind of cross your T's and dot your I's. Of course, you have your date and your time, and then you can put if it's a single event or a reoccurring event. So we just got through the basic info. Now, if anyone has any questions about that, please go ahead and go to the comments. I think that's pretty simple, but feel free to ask any questions, and I'm going to move on to the details. So details, this is important. Now, your image for your event is very important. I would encourage you to use Canva to create the images for your event. And you want it to be in these dimensions. So Canva does not, I'm going to pull up my personal Canva account. Canva does not have an automatic template for Eventbrite event covers. So what I do is I go to create a design, custom dimensions, and then, where are we? So many tabs, y'all. Okay, so we're here. So the dimensions are 2160 by 1080. It's right, it'll show you right here. Right here, you guys. 2-to-1 ratio. So you want to go ahead and put 2160 by 1080. That was what it is, right? 26 by 1080, yes. Create your design. And of course you can, I typically use some sort of template to guide my ideas. So, Canva has a number of different templates you can utilize I've used this one before and played around with it. So you can, of course, change the color, change the fonts, change the imagery to fit your brand and your event. And you can use these templates as a guide. If your dimensions are correct, when you upload it here, it goes in perfectly. Now for your summary is something that will be used when people are searching your event. It'll kind of be like similar to a subject line in the email. It'll give you a little bit of a preview. And then also, if you choose to, which we'll talk about later, as we'll talk about later, as you integrate into Facebook, it'll take your summary. That's what it'll take. So if you want anything more, you have to go and manually put the rest of the description into Facebook, but it'll automatically bring over the summary. So you want to have that summary answer the question, what the event is for, right? Or rather, what will happen during the event, what is the event about, and who it's for. And it doesn't have to say it explicitly, but you want to use, like, be specific, be niche. Because the feedback that I often get, hey, so Khadijah said she didn't know about Google keywords. Yes, honey, it's amazing. So what a lot of people, they think that, hey, my event is for everybody. Your event is not for everybody. And you have to also think about, people tell me all the time when they come to my events, I think the reason why I do typically have success at these events is because they are specific. I say, we're talking about this topic. So people who are not interested in this topic, you don't need to come. Basically, only people who are interested in this type of topic need to come. So a lot, and people sometimes, especially folks that want to network, they may not know how to discern between, should I go to this event or should I go to that event? But if you are being specific in your event and they know exactly what they're going to get when they attend, they may be more inclined to choose your event if they feel like it's the right fit. So yes, so think about that when you are making your, of course, the summary is only 140 characters, so it's limited. So here, my summary is plan your financial future and the new normal. Join us for an information seminar about the new governmental stimulus plan and more. So I just give you a little taste of what it is, but I kind of try to be specific and hey, this is what we're talking about. If this doesn't apply to you, don't come. If you don't care about this, don't come over here. That's fine. You might join us for something else. So for the longer form description, this is where you have a lot of opportunity. Don't just bore people, but you have a lot of opportunity you have a lot of real estate here on what you can discuss. So here I'll put a little information about, and I get a little more specific about, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the 2020 coronavirus stimulus package. We're going to talk about the tax filing deadline extension. We're talking about unemployment benefits, and we're talking about consumer buying trends. And then I put a little bit of information about myself and did I put Atlanta business? Yeah, I put a little information about Atlanta business strategy, and I put information about the other speaker. There's also and I'm probably going to edit this later. There's also an area on Eventbrite, which we'll get to, where you can add speakers. So there is an ability to add speakers, and you can put little profiles for them. What I'll often do, because it just looks a little bit bigger, is I will put, I'll go on Canva and I'll use like the Instagram post template, and I'll put like a picture of the speaker, and I may put their bio underneath. So there is an opportunity to add photos here, to add text here, to add video. You can add, I think you cannot just upload a video, it has to be a link, but you can put a YouTube video there. So there's opportunities to upsell people if you're doing a workshop, which some of you said that you were. There's opportunity here to say, come watch my video before we get started. I've done that before. Or you may say, hey, if you're interested in purchasing my book, you can add an imagery, you can add your cover page of the book and add a little text underneath it about the book. So there's a lot of ways to just play with these pages and make them a little bit more vibrant and more fun than, kind of boring, because you're competing. You're competing for attention, as we always are. So this is an online event. So when you pick online event, of course, so wait, let me see. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions. So Zach asked me, does Eventbrite allow you to turn your event into a landing page? So I want you to tell me a little bit more about what you mean by that, Zach. So are you trying to extract contact information from people? Is that what you're trying to do? And we'll talk about that. And so Josh said he's making changes on his Eventbrite right now as we speak. He's changing up his Eventbrite events, which is awesome. Use those skills. And Josh, if you have any videos from any previous workshops you've done, so Zach said, okay, so Zach, we will address your question. So Josh, if you have any videos from any previous stuff you've done or pictures, you can throw those in there at the bottom. Like you can have your description and stuff here, and then you can add some images here to show, or a video link to show, a little recap video of your last workshop, or some pictures of you. Because I've seen you post like pictures online and things like that of you posting your workshops. So you can definitely post pictures of that. Like all those little things just add a little bit of social proof. So people know, okay, he does this, he's about this. You can add customer testimonials. Like there's so many different things that you can do with these pages. So I would definitely encourage you to try to use the real estate. I don't think they really limit you. I've never been stopped from adding anything. So use it. So digital links. So also a separate web share to share on Facebook. Okay, so we'll talk about that, Josh. So because this is a webinar, this event, it's a little different. They do add the digital links option where I'm able to, that you can either add a Zoom link here, a YouTube, if you're doing a YouTube chat like I am, I can put the link here. They'll send it out to you automatically. And of course, you can add pictures and things here. So this is somewhat of a landing page that people will see that will be sent to them. So you can also doctor this up. You can add images, text, video, same thing as you could with the details section. So you can utilize this real estate if you want to upsell on other products, you want to add some things, whatever. You're welcome to do that. I would definitely encourage you to use that real estate. Now for tickets. Now this is a place where I don't see a lot of people utilizing all the options available. First of all, you can change the name of your tickets to whatever you want it to be. And there's 3 types of tickets: paid, free, and donation. So instead of it being general admission, because general admission, you kind of associate that with like a concert or something. But if you're hosting a workshop, you might not want to say general admission. You might just want to say, what I've started saying is I'll kind of speak to the person purchasing. So RSVP to let us know you're coming is an option for one ticket. Another ticket is I can't make it. I want the replay though. They can get that. So those are some of the different things that I offer. You also, if you click down in advanced setting, you can put a description. This can be very good if you have some sort of complexity or nuance to your tickets. So recently I hosted, well, I had to postpone it, but I did, I still have it up. I have this event coming up called She Pitched It, and it's a pitch competition. And the way I wanted to utilize my Eventbrite page was I wanted anyone who wanted to be a vendor, anyone who wanted to attend as a guest, and anyone who wanted to pitch, to apply to pitch. I wanted to be able to take care of that all in one platform, all on this Eventbrite page. So I had 3 ticket options. One was the general admission, and I might have just kept that as general admission, or I think I called it an investor ticket because technically the proceeds from the ticket goes to the winner. So because it's a crowdfunded competition. So I changed the name here to investor ticket, and that was $10. And then also you want to make the choice if they pay the fee for Eventbrite or you pay the fee. So right here, there's an option, absorb fees. Ticketing fees are deducted from the revenue amount. So if I charge $10 based on the Eventbrite plan that I use, they're going to charge $1.95 service fee and a 25-cent processing fee on each ticket. I can say that my guest pays it, or I can absorb it out of the fees. Depending on what you want to do, you might want them to pay it or you might want to pay it. Depends. And then you also have, of course, free tickets, which you don't have all that to worry about. And then you have donations. Now, what I've been doing with this event, for example, I had a certain number of free early bird tickets, and then I had a certain number of pay what you wish tickets. And I used the donation option for the pay what you wish tickets. So it was like pay what you wish. Here, people can, and I absorbed the fees. I chose to absorb the fees for that. And so whatever people wanted to pay, they could pay. And I can use the donation option for that. So if you're looking to host events and you may or may not, maybe you want to open it up to different types of audiences, or you just maybe want to generate some revenue from it, you might want to try the pay what you wish option, and you can use the donation to do that. You can call these tickets, again, whatever you want to call them. So that's kind of the flexibility that you have. Now, one thing I glossed over was this description piece. So going back to She Pitched It, for each ticket, I had explicit description of what that ticket got you. So one is like general admission. This will secure your seat at the actual pitch competition. The pitch application, I said, this is for you to submit your application and get a ticket. You will be informed on this date if you were selected to pitch. So I put all that in the description, and I also in the description for the ticket, and I also put it in the details. And then if they chose to be a vendor, then I explain information in the description about what you get as a vendor. So those are, you can utilize this description area if there's some sort of complexity to what you are doing. It'll help explain things to people so they're not emailing you, asking questions, or just losing interest because they're confused. So order options. Also, do I have any questions about tickets? Because tickets can get a little nuanced. There's also add-ons here. So I have not really dwelled too much into this, but if you want to upsell people on a service or a product, this is a way for you to be able to add. They can do an add-on when they purchase their ticket. They'll also see those options. And then of course you can decide if you want to display number of tickets remaining or not. If you have limited number of tickets and you want to encourage people to purchase, you could possibly display the number of tickets. Just say, hey, it's only 5 left, or it's only 4 left. Like I was just on Amazon today looking at an item and it told me, oh, it's only 3 of this item left. So I was like, oh shoot, I better figure out if I'm gonna buy this or not. That can be a great tactic to get people, especially if you're selling tickets for something, to get people to do it. So Order options. So again, any questions before I move on about the ticket piece? I'm going to take a sip of water while I'm waiting. Okay. So if we're good on the ticket piece, let's go to order options. Order form. Ooh, this is juicy. This is where it gets juicy. Now, okay, that's a great question. So I don't think we've gotten to payouts yet. So Josh actually asked a question about payouts. So we have not gotten to payouts yet. That's not under the ticket option. I believe we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We will get to the payout. So I will make sure I talk about the payouts piece. So that, because some people might want to change out your payout. So if you have, so typically what they do now with payouts is 5 days after your event, you get your payout. And that's what the policy is now, period, because of the quarantine situation. But I do think you can contact them to work something out different. Now, what they used to have, which hopefully they'll bring it back when this period is over, is you could select to get your payout like on a weekly basis. You just have some options about getting your payout earlier. You don't have to wait till your event is over to do that. But yeah, those things are not necessarily happening right now, because I think they have a lot of concerns with, events happening, and there will be a lot of refunds because events have had to get postponed and canceled and things like that. So order form. Now, this is to Zach's question. He asked about a landing page. You don't need a landing page with Eventbrite, because the wonderful thing about this platform is you get access to all of the emails of the people that register. So, and their names, you get all of their information. So when you are creating your order form, be intentional about what information you want from people. And you can require them to provide it. So if they register for your event, they have to provide. So if you register for my event, you have to give me your first name, your last name, your cell phone number, your age, your zip code, and then there's also an option to do custom questions. So you can ask questions if there's things that they don't already provide. You might want to know. I want to know what the name of your business is. That, I think that is already provided, but there could be some custom questions you might want to know. I want to know how long you've been in business. I want to know how many business partners do you have? Whatever it is, I want to know how many children you have. These are things that you can add to the form, and you can require them to answer it to be able to move forward. Or you can make it optional for them to answer it. It is up to you. But this is something I definitely encourage you. If you're focusing on list building, you want to be intentional about what questions you ask here. And you definitely want to make sure they have to give you their email and they have to give you your phone number, because that's what you're going to have to be able to get back in contact with them later. Now, so what I'll often ask if I have a live chat, I'll say, what questions do you have? So I make sure beforehand that the live chat is addressing some of those questions already. Then there's also a group activate group registration. I don't know why this is here and not in the ticket section, but for whatever reason it's here. You can also do a group registration, and group discounts. So basically, you can say if someone has a group of 5 or a group of 10, your ticket is $10, it's going to be $7 or whatever. So you're able to do that. So, yeah. So you're able to do that. You can just click that button. It's pretty self-explanatory. I won't go too much into that because this event is free that I'm showing you guys, but that is an option to do that. And then also on tickets, I didn't mention, of course, you can manipulate the number of tickets that you want. So registration options. Once an attendee registers, I don't know if you guys noticed this, you're typically sent to a page after that. And that page will have, a lot of times we may not look at it, but it has information on it about the event. And you can either keep the standard page that they have, or you can put your own information in there. So I always choose to put my own information. So this is registration options. These are the text that people will see after they register. And then you can also manipulate the amount of time that people have to register. So for example, when I had She Pitched It, I might extend the time for that particular ticket option for people to instead of having 8 minutes, they have 15 minutes or whatever to answer the questions, because it might take a little longer. And then of course here, if you have an in-person event, you can say, you know, if you're giving people physical tickets, you can say they can do will call pickup, or you can say, you know, if you want to allow attendees to edit their information after the registration, you can here. And then at the end, if they want to accept, if you want to accept refund requests, you can say yes or no. But the thing about the refund request that you need to think about, you cannot change it after you've already sold tickets. So think about what your refund policy is going to be before you make your event go live. Because once it's live, once it's live and someone buys, then that's it. So think about that policy. But if you do choose to accept, I do believe you can put in wording about that, about what your rules are going to be. So does anybody have questions about this particular piece? Okay, so I'm going to move on. If you do, that's cool. Go ahead and drop them in the comments and I will address them. So customize your web page. I didn't do it for this event because I didn't have much to say, but typically I do. So here you can put information around how do they join. So this is where what I was talking about earlier. After registering for your event, attendees will see an on-screen message until they navigate away from the page. You can control what they see. So what I typically will do, going back to order form, this little information here, I'll just like cut and paste it on everything because people need so many reminders about things. That's why I send out text messages with the link, because though Eventbrite is emailing it to everybody, people forget whatever. So I'll put this information in here. So on everything that they have, they're able to see that message about the link or the information or parking or whatever it is that you really want to communicate to people. Once they register, you can start to begin to have those communications with them right away. Now, something I did mention I do want to make sure I go back with on the order form is that you can customize the questions for each ticket option. I don't think I mentioned that. So what you can do, because I have it set, so collect information from each attendee. So you can make sure that if someone is bringing someone else, they have to give you information on that person too. So they can't, you get information from buyer and you get information from whoever they're bringing with. Then you can also, one second. Oh, it took me to a different page. Order form, back, we're gonna go back. You can customize questions for each order option. So it'll usually be a question down here. I'm trying to find it on mine. So it doesn't apply to this particular event. That's why I'm not seeing that question, because I have it set to basically everyone answers the same questions. But okay, so customize checkout questions. And then, okay, so when you say add, so there could be certain questions that you want everybody to answer. Then there's your customized questions. So when you have a customized question, how long have you been in business? You can click show this question for specific ticket types. And then you see, it'll show you your ticket types. So my 2 ticket types for this event are RSVP, so let us know you're coming, and can't make it, I want the replay. So I can click who I want what questions to be shown to. So that's another thing. So depending on the ticket option, like for She Pitched It, if you chose the pitch application, you got several questions about your business. If you just chose the general admission, all you had to fill out was your first name, last name, email, and cell phone. So those are the things that you're able to do. And if you want to do an application of some sort, that's a great way to kind of keep everything in one place with people. And then of course, event type and language. That's pretty simple. English. You could put a ticketed event or registration event. Most of the events that we're doing are probably registration based and not ticket based. Ticket based is like concert or something like that. So because most of us are doing workshops and stuff, then we will use registration event. Now we go to, did we go here? And wait list. So you can implement a wait list. If you have a certain limited number of tickets, you can enable the wait list option. And then you can pick which tickets you want to enable it for, what message people get if they're on the wait list. And then, of course, you can have a certain, you can edit the message that goes to the person if a spot opens up for them. So you can do that option with the people as well if you have limited seating. That can also be a way to build up anticipation for people, is to, have a wait list going. So this is invite and promote. So Zach asked the question about Facebook. Now, Eventbrite integrates with a number of platforms, including Facebook. So you can kind of see all of their integrations. One sec. So this is if you want to integrate with your website. So, right. So you can add your events to Facebook. You can connect your Eventbrite profile to your business Facebook page, and then you can send over the event to Facebook. So you can have that automatically happening, or you can actually go to your Facebook business page, click events, which maybe I should just show y'all and tell y'all. So I'll go to my Facebook page, Angel Mills Brand Strategy. It's taking a little while to load, y'all. Okay, so I go to events. I can go to, and this will show up here. Once your Eventbrite account is connected to your Facebook, this Eventbrite import event will show up. And you can actually pick which event, like all my events are already on Facebook, but to say one of my events wasn't, they will let me pick which one, and I can just integrate it over to Facebook automatically. So that is a way that you can share. So I don't know, Zach, if that answers the question that you were asking about a separate thing for Facebook, but that's kind of what they offer. You can also, I think if you have a personal page, you can add it to your personal page. But of course, I encourage you, if you're doing business stuff, have it to a business page. So that's a way you can have it over there. And so what will happen is they have options where people can either directly register on Facebook, or they can click a link that will take them over to your Eventbrite page to register. And what's cool about that is then your event is showing up in Facebook event search. So I'm supposed to be on the event page. Hold on one second. So when we talk about getting traffic to your page, having it on Eventbrite, or excuse me, having it on Facebook is what will help you show up higher in search, what will help you get more traffic, right? Because if I'm just on Facebook and I'm just searching nearby events, I could come across your event if it's in my area. Or if I, if it's today, tomorrow, this weekend, like based on Facebook's different search options, your event could pop up to me. So you definitely, what I encourage you to do though, is even when you do integrate your event over to Facebook, go ahead over to Facebook and make sure you play with the categories over there, copy and paste your full description in, because the way that they integrate it over, it doesn't include all your information. So you might want to go over and make sure it looks right. It has everything that you want it to have. And there are some limitations to what they'll let you import over. I believe they only let you import over like one ticket type or two ticket types. So if you have more than two, all of them may not be able to come over to Facebook. So if that's the case, then you may want to edit the Facebook event to include, to make the person just go over to your Eventbrite page. So it'll be an option. Let me go to my event again. There should be an option for you to, I have so many pages, you guys. So there should be an option for you to just put for tickets, like a ticket link, and you can just put your Eventbrite page as a ticket link. So this is kind of the way my page looks over here for this event. And so what happens is find tickets. People have to click this link to come over to Eventbrite to get their stuff. So then I don't have to worry about it not importing everything over. Now, and I want to speed through because we're at 7:47, y'all. Okay, so please ask any questions. I want to make sure we don't go over time. So I do want to quickly go through some of the other integrations. They do have some integrations where you can do social ads. So they do have a platform. They have a free trial, but it's a paid platform where they'll actually integrate with like your Facebook page or Instagram, and you can do ads to people that have signed up for your events in the past. You can create a lookalike audience. You can specifically promote your stuff to that particular audience of people who've already come to your events, or you can create a lookalike audience so people are similar to them, get your ads. So it can be it's a great integration because when you're thinking about how to re-engage people to come, you want to use folks that are already in your wheelhouse. So Zach asked me, do they have an integration with Instagram as well or any other social media? They do not have an integration with Instagram. They do not, unfortunately. So Instagram, you kind of have to do the whole link in bio thing. Or if you have over 10,000 subscribe or followers on Instagram, you can do the swipe up thing. Now, something that I often use is the invitation option. So under invite and promote, you can click email invitations and invite people to your event. You can input who you want to invite manually, or you can create an email list from past events. So that's often what I would do. I can create an email list from past events and then I'll send it to people, or you can schedule it. I also suggest when you're creating your event, think about, I'll just wait till I get to that piece. I'll hold that off. Discounts and access codes. Of course, you can give people discount. You can create discount codes if you want to give them to certain elements of your audience. You can do that. You can they have integrations with SurveyMonkey, so you can send people surveys after they come to your event. You can also, they have some text message integration where you can send people text messages to invite them to your event as well. They can also integrate with your website. So I tried this with Squarespace, didn't really care for it. But you can kind of, if you have several events on Eventbrite, you can integrate your calendar into something like a Squarespace or a Wix. And using this option, which just is under website integration, you can do this. And it'll show like you can, and also to your point of the landing page, Zach, that could be an option if you want a landing page. So say you have a website and you want to create a landing page on your site. 1 second. Needed some water, guys. So you want to create a landing page on your website, then you can integrate your Eventbrite page in there. Where are we? So invite and promote. Tracking links. You can add a Facebook pixel. That's a whole nother conversation, but you can grab your Facebook pixel and integrate it into these events. You can also do a tracking link and send this out as well to affiliates. So if you want to do some affiliate work and maybe give some folks discounts or something like that for promoting your event, you can do that. You can do affiliate codes under here. And they do have affiliate programs, tracking links, blah, blah, blah. Analyze, you are able to get analytics on who came to your event, where they're from, other types of information, that how many things you sold, how much money you made. Tracking pixels, I talked about that a little bit. So you can grab your Facebook pixel and add it in. You can add in pixels from Google Ads, Twitter, places like that. So managing attendees, you are able, so this is for you, Zach, where you're able to communicate with your attendees and also get their contact information. So if you want to export your contact information of your attendees, you click the attendee option that is under manage attendees, and then you can do a full attendee report. So when you click on full attendee report, you can click which things you want, and it'll export to you in the form of a CSV or an Excel file. So that's where you're getting these emails from. And then you can take it from there. You can either manually import it into your contact management system, or you can they do have integrations as well for that. which we'll get to in apps. And that's super helpful. So of course, you can do your emails to attendees. You can schedule emails to attendees. They do some automation for you. You can also schedule more here. So what you may want to do when you're creating your event, just automatically set up your emails that you want to go out. So, 3 days before, I want to say this. A week before, I want to say this. Just schedule them, automate them, so they're already going out to people. You can also automate your email invitations. Now, Eventbrite also integrates with Constant Contact, MailChimp. And so what will happen with that is, as people are signing up for your events, you can set up the integration under apps where they automatically flow into your email list on your contact management system, which will be a Constant Contact or MailChimp or ConvertKit or whatever that may be. So you don't even have to manually bring them over, which is great. So as you can see here, I have a MailChimp sync set up. So I have MailChimp. And it automatically syncs over from MailChimp. Now, another thing that I want to quickly talk about, because we are kind of at the end, please put your questions in the box, in the comment box, so I can make sure that I address them at the end. So Goldstar, I've talked about this in some of my previous live chats before, master classes. I want to talk about it, touch on it very quickly. Eventbrite does do an integration with Goldstar. Goldstar is a website for people who want to find events in their local area at a discount. It's ideal for events that it could be for workshops that are in person. It has to be an in-person event. And if you have something that is a show, a play, a workshop, you can put them on here. You can integrate automatically with Facebook and Goldstar. You can set both those accounts up in your apps section, and you can actually have a portion of your tickets be designated for Goldstar, and you can sell and do your transactions, all through Goldstar. So people can pay, people can whatever they need to do, sign up. Downsides to Goldstar is you don't get the contact information of the person. You only get their first and last name. So when they show up in your attendee list, they show up with a purchase fake email, basically, that Goldstar generates. Highlights of using this platform, though, is that it gives you exposure to your event. Goldstar pushes your event not only to the folks that look at their site, which they get a lot of traffic to this site, but they also push it to Groupon and some other platforms. So I've seen some of my workshops on Groupon before. I'm like, how did it get over there? And people are on Groupon all the time. Groupon has amazing traffic to its site. So it's a great way for you to increase the amount of people that are seeing your event, therefore pushing you up in search on Google and Eventbrite, because more traffic is going to your page. So you're getting thousands of eyes when you are on Goldstar. So we're going to move on really quickly. Community pages. This is some, I don't play with this too much. These are some other things that, some other integrations that Eventbrite has. You can do the speaker list. So this is what I was talking about, where you can actually add speakers to your event. If you have speakers, speak with their photo, their name, their company, their title. And yes, so questions. Does Eventbrite allow you to put an event on Facebook that doesn't have a location? I'm getting a hang up on that. Yes, you can change the location on your Facebook event to online class or online event. That's what I did on Facebook. So this is something I had to manually go and do. So I imported my event over from Eventbrite, and then I went in and edited a little bit. So I made sure my picture looked right. I changed locations to online class, because it came up, my location is nothing. Like if you have an online event and you import it from Eventbrite, they'll show up as nothing. So I changed the location to online class. I was able to put my full description. I don't have any co-hosts, dates, make sure everything was right, added my ticket link and all that good stuff. So you're able to do that. I do want to address the payout option situation. So of course, when you're all done with your event, of course you publish here. This will give you this right here, instead of saying on sale, it'll say publish. You have the option to publish. You can view it, see how it looks, make sure that it looks how you want it to look. And then for payouts, also, I didn't add this, you can do private events on Eventbrite as well. So you can make events open to the public, and you can also make them private. So you see that right here, public and private, you have that option under privacy settings. And then of course, display, you can, for your listing, you can control if you want it to display right away. If you want to schedule when it goes live, you can do all of that as well. So I'm trying to remember, to be honest, I have to be very honest. I need to remember where that piece is for payout. Tickets, add-on settings. I don't know if I can see it on this event, probably because this event is free. That may be why I don't see the option. On here. Basic info. Maybe I should go to one of my paid events, but I don't want y'all to see all my money. I don't know. You can't, it may also have been removed because you can't do it right now. You can't do, they told you, they give you a payout schedule now. They're doing payouts 5 days after the event. So you can't control when you get it anymore, unless you like appeal to them, I believe. I'm gonna have to, I don't want to show y'all the back end. I'm gonna have to look and see where that is now, because because this event is free, I don't have a payout. So I don't think I can see the option, but I do believe it is under tickets with the payout situation. So it should be under tickets, and it should be an option for you to actually dictate. Once everything goes back to normal, you'll be able to dictate when you get your payout. So you can get them like once a week on a certain day. I do believe you can do immediate payouts. They may charge you a little bit of a fee to do that. So if you want your money, and that's something I do think you have to you do have to figure out before you go your event. Like some things like your refund policy, when you want your payout, figure that out before you put your event live. Because once it's live, certain things cannot be changed once people start buying tickets. So we are at 8 p.m. on the dot. We did so many things, you guys. Oh my goodness. So please let me know if you have any additional questions. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just show you how to, I'm gonna throw this in the comment box, but I'm also gonna show you how you can purchase my ebook if you are interested in learning more about how you can use platforms like Eventbrite and Goldstar to grow your contact list, because that does seem to be some of you all's interest. So if you go to my site, angelmillsbrandstrategy.com, go to store, and then grow your contact list ebook. Also, as we're waiting for this to load, and I'll go back. Oh no, I'm still sharing my screen. So you can go here. I'll just go ahead and copy and paste this link here in the description or the comment box. All right, so currently it's on sale. And so this ebook will talk specifically even more about growing that contact list using these events. Wait, that's not right. It didn't cut and paste the right thing. I wanted to cut and paste this. I was like, what is all this typing? Okay, there we go. Okay, that's in the chat. So if you all want to purchase this, you're able to do so. Also in the description, I do have invitation with me. I have opened up my calendar kind of for this quarantine period, because I know a lot of people, and I'll go back. Let me remove them. Okay, I'm back, you guys. So I know a lot of people are wanting to grow their brands right now, have specific questions about their situation, and we're not always able to address them on these calls. So I want to give you guys the one-on-one time you need. And so you can go ahead and check the link in my description and purchase if you're interested in doing that. I want to thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I love talking about Eventbrite. I love hosting events. So I had a great time talking with you. Thank you so much for your engagement and awesome questions. Please, please, please invite me to your events. Let me know what you have going on. Shoot me an email at angel@angelmillsbrandstrategy.com. I can also be found on Instagram and Facebook at She Is Angel Mills. So follow me there. I do, as I kind of talked about today, have another online event coming up on Thursday at 7. We'll be on YouTube again. This is free, open to everyone. And we're just going to be talking with an accountant, Johan Seeley, here in Metro Atlanta. And he's going to be talking about taxes, money, unemployment, stimulus checks, all that stuff, all those questions that you guys have. We're going to address those. And so coming up for folks who are former brainstorm consultations, those are what my consultations are called, that I have a link for in the description. For folks who purchased those in the past, as well as for folks who have purchased ebooks, I'm going to be doing 2 live classes next week, only for people that I've worked with. So I would definitely, if you end up purchasing that ebook this week, you'll get an email about it. If not, you won't get an email for those, but you'll definitely get other information from me in the future. Again, thanks so much for coming. Stay in touch, and I hope that I will see you on Thursday. So have a good rest of your night. Please stay safe, inspired. We're going to make it through, you guys. So definitely, this is a great time to do online events and connect with people digitally, because folks are at home and they don't have anything better to do. So this is a great time to have this conversation. So have a great night. Thank you.